Real news. True, honest, and not fake news.
Today, we're going to talk about overall the McCabe firing, the PA 18th District special election, the school walkouts, Trump visiting the big, beautiful wall prototypes, and if we have time, we'll talk about Rex Tillerson being fired. But first, we're going to talk about the big news that's happened over the past few hours, which is the second in command of the FBI and temporary director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, was fired by Jeff Sessions for misleading investigators about his decision to allow FBI officials to give information about the Clinton Foundation investigation to the media. So basically, he was giving information to the media that he probably wasn't supposed to.
You doing the dishes, Alex?
No, I'm browning some beef.
Oh, okay.
Wait, he's doing what?
I don't know.
What did you say you were doing?
I'm browning some beef for some meat pasta.
Oh, that sounds fabulous. I always love your cooking, Alex, so I bet that's going to be a nice spicy meat pasta.
Not meat pasta, I meant meat sauce.
Oh, meat sauce.
I picked up a new gun today.
Oh, we'll talk about that after this topic, but yeah, we'll get into that. Because Mikey was telling me about that I saw on Facebook. So anyway, the other thing was that McCabe made memos about Trump that apparently he was keeping at the time, but now he'd given them to Robert Mueller. That just broke a few hours ago. McCabe responded by saying his firing was a part of a, quote, war on the FBI. Yeah, he's trying to blame everybody else except him pretty much. CNN called it a Friday night slaughter, like very similar to what they said when Trump fired Comey. So again, linking him and comparing him to Richard Nixon, which I think is silly. And Trump tweeted out in the morning that, quote, Andrew McCabe fired. A great day for the hardworking men and women of the FBI. Great day for democracy. Sanctimonious James Comey was his boss and made McCabe look like a choir boy. He knew all about the lies and corruption going on in the highest levels of the FBI. And the final bit I'll mention is that Trump also put out another tweet, which I thought summed up everything that's been going on perfectly. He said, as the House Intelligence Committee has concluded, there was no conclusion between Russia and the Trump campaign, as many are now finding out. However, there was tremendous leaking, lying, and corruption at the highest levels of the FBI, justice, and state. Hashtag drain the swamp. I couldn't agree with that last tweet more, because that's all we're seeing is more corruption, more higher levels of the FBI doing things they shouldn't be doing, while all these people below them that are the boots on the ground that are doing the hard work are getting their, the FBI's reputation tarnished because of all this, and they're getting, kind of clumped into it, unfortunately. But what are your guys' thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't really know. I haven't been paying attention to the news today as much, so I knew he was fired, but I didn't know necessarily why. But yeah, and I see Fox is saying that he kept notes on Trump, just like Comey did.
Yeah, those were his memos.
And he gave them to Mueller.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that, because Comey had memos, and some of them turned out to be complete BS. Yeah. Some of them were like exaggerations. So, I don't think Trump has anything to worry about.
I don't think so at all.
Yeah. What about you, Alex?
Well, I'm surprised it took him this long to fire this guy. He's been a thorn in the side. He's been doing nothing but causing problems, leaking information. He shouldn't just be fired. He should be indicted. He should be sent on trial. So they have that one guy who was, if you leak information, that's illegal. He needs to be tried before a court of law and by an impartial judge and jury and sentenced,
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think it's funny how he was fired like 2 days before he was going to retire. So apparently, like, his pension, he's not going to get till like 57.
That's funny.
He doesn't deserve a pension.
Yeah, and I think that's what Trump did. That's why I think he ordered Sessions to fire him, was to give a little bit of pain on him. Because I mean, if you just fire the guy, like, what does he lose? Nothing really. He just loses his job. Okay, he can get another job anywhere, write a book. That's what Comey's doing. Make millions of dollars, and now the left's little darling little angel celebrity of, oh, I'm a victim of Trump, the demagogue. So, he can do other things now. He's fine, but I think it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Anything else to add?
Not to this topic, no.
Okay. Alex.
Real
sure.
Quick, weren't they supposed to be shutting down the Russia investigation, soon or something?
Yeah, Trump's lawyer's calling for it to be shut down. That was another thing that broke today. He was saying that the Mueller investigation be shut down. There's been a bunch of other like the House investigation has already concluded there was no collusion between Trump and Russia. And yet all the corruption is on the FBI and the Clintons. That's where all the corruption is, but they're not looking into that, of course, because you can't look into the rigors. But yeah, it's supposed to shut down. It's probably going to shut down soon, but I think Mueller's going to try to drag out as long as possible because he recently was digging into the Trump organization's records and files. That I think happened a few days ago. Anyway, anything else? No.
I think I'm done with this topic. I mean, I think you said about everything.
Yeah. Okay, Alex, you want to tell us about your little present you bought today?
Yeah. So I've moved on from my life at State College, and I'm up near Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And so I've been over there, and I decided to stop by a gun store, and I picked up a 1911. It was a Remington version of it. Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I think I spent just a hair under $700 on it for brand new.
That's not bad for them. My friend has a Kimber, but he paid like $1,800. Am I not talking?
Oh yeah. Like the prices on those just vary so wildly. I mean, they had some that were like I think closer to $500 there, but the thing with this one I liked is it had good target sights on it, and I primarily wanted for target shooting. I wouldn't really recommend a 1911 for like a concealed carry weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, is it a pistol?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a picture of it.
Ooh. Yeah, you might as well buy it now for the Democrats try to ban it.
Nah, that one would be a little bit of a while. I've been trying to get them find an FAL, but those are the only one I know is that one in State College.
Oh, FALs are hard to find.
Yeah, they had one at that one place. I forget the name of it. Those guys are pretty good. The one I brought, Mr. Jack?
Yeah, I'm not going to say it. I don't know if we're allowed to say the name of the place, so I won't.
Okay.
But
it's confidential.
It's like advertising.
Yeah. They were pretty good, though. I like those people over there. And they did a pretty good price for some of their stuff. That's right. I bought a revolver off them before. I mean, back compared to places where I was from, these are pretty good. And the people over here was also like a bait shop. So it was a nice little hole in the wall.
So yeah, nice little experience purchasing it.
Well, see, here's the thing: like the liberals want to go make it harder. Dude, I have to go and fill out so much dang paperwork. Like it's ridiculous just to go and buy a gun. It's absolutely ridiculous for a right. I had to go and just must have been probably like 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes. And some of these questions, some of them are just a little bit, silly. And like they're asking me about my employer. Like, why do they need to know this?
Yeah.
I can understand, like, this stuff I don't mind, but I think it's silly the notion of there's no background checks, there's nothing you just walk in and buy a gun. That's obviously not the case. I mean, you're saying you had to go through a background check, Alex? Oh, my God.
Well, it wasn't just a background check.
Yeah.
Like, why do they need to know my employer? Are they going to go and call them up? They need to know my address and my employer.
Yeah, they asked for that because they are, under our law anyway, under Pennsylvania law, they could, if they wanted to, call your employer after. Now, at least the gun shop owners aren't like the crazy liberals, so they won't really do that. But, yeah, that's why they ask you those questions.
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't think they should be able to ask for your employers because that just doesn't seem like it'd be helpful if you're self-employed.
If you're self-employed, then you don't have to do anything.
I usually just say unemployed. Or even if I do have a job, I just put down that I'm not, and that's that.
Yeah.
That's
just, that, I guess.
I don't think they should be doing that either way. Like, were they going to say that you're a person? Like, the regular background check would cover all that. And I feel like it's a lot, too. Like, I already have a license to carry a firearm in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Why do I need to go through another background check?
And that was
maybe
a much more extensive background check.
Yeah, well, I think maybe what they would do it now is like, because some of these people you don't see the signs at first that they're crazy, and maybe some people don't report them yet, and so I have no problem with you getting a background check like every time you get a gun or or all the other stuff you have to do. But I think maybe like for gunners that maybe like reach like age 60, the men or 50, I could see like maybe loosening some stuff up, but. You know, as long as, to me, if we're gonna get more background checks and more paperwork you have to do, but no guns get banned, that's perfectly fine.
If it doesn't add more time, I'm okay with that. Like,
well, no, I want to decrease the time. Why can't they just have a? That's the thing. Like, it's ridiculous. Why can't I just show them my card and then it automatically hooks up to a database?
Well, because like what we saw with, I think the problem I see is that like what we saw with this school shooting is that, you know, the guy was, I assume, was able to buy a gun and get through the background check. Like, I guess you could say that, you know, if like for, you know, how you have to, they have to contact your employer. Maybe the employer sees something that's wrong about you, or they see some crazy signs, and they can get that information through there, even though they haven't reported to the FBI. I mean, I don't know, but I'm trying to see how that, you know, why it's there.
Well, that's not. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the problem. But you can see what happened. There was a story of this one lady who was working as like a social worker, and she had a gun, and then her employer found out, and they fired her for it.
Yeah, that stuff's terrible. I mean, well, to be fair, a private company can do whatever they want, but
well, yeah, then you know they shouldn't be forced to provide that information.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, because like if I was an employer, I'd want to know if my employees have guns, but at the same time, I wouldn't fire them for it.
She never brought it with her, right?
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing.
I understand that, right? She just had a concealed carry permit, but she never brought her gun to work. Is that correct, Alex?
Yes, that's correct.
That's insane then.
Yeah, so just because she owned a gun, they fired her.
That's stupid.
Whenever police officers, I heard from someone, and I'm not a police officer, so I don't know the truth, but I heard that like on your driver's license, they'll say if you have a concealed carry permit. And when you go into like Canada or something, when you go into...
Oh, wait, where is this? What state is this? Or
Well, I heard in PA that they do that, it tells the cops. And I was on a Pennsylvania Firearm Owners Association forum, and that's what I've heard from some police officers from there. And they're claiming this. I don't really have run-ins with cops because I'm generally a good driver and don't put myself in that situation.
I got pulled over the other day.
Oh, yeah.
I had to show her my concealed carry license because I had my gun nearby. But since I was nice and I showed it to her right away, she didn't even care.
Wow, yeah, because that's the thing. Like when you're a cop, you gotta be terrified walking up to a car because you don't know what people are gonna do.
Yeah.
You know, they could have a gun just hanging, you know, holding in their, you know, down here, like not really in their lap, but like hidden, and you can't see that, and then bang, you're dead. I mean, that's why I'm perfectly fine with it being out of license, because that, you know, if somebody, because some people forget that they have their gun on them, and then they'll see the license, they'll see, you know, I don't know what it looks like, but they'll see they have concealed carry, and they'll go, okay, sir, can you tell us where the gun is? Don't reach for it, but tell us where it is, you know, because some people are really stupid where either they'll forget that they have it, or they'll start reaching for it, and the cop panics, thinks they're going to shoot him, and shoots the guy in the car, you know? That's where stuff like that I do like.
Well, here's the thing, though. What if you're not carrying a gun? The police officer thinks you have a concealed carry license when you don't even have. You don't bring your gun. You know, you're just driving to the grocery store.
Well, they would ask you, and you'd have to say, you know, no, I don't have a gun on the officer.
But then they can check.
Then you have
they might not trust you.
That's true.
And they go and say, this is probable cause for you to search your vehicle.
I'm pretty sure a bad guy also wouldn't say yes.
Yeah, a bad guy wouldn't.
So if a
bad guy wouldn't even have a permit.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't. But what I'm saying is, like, for cases where people do stupid things, and then you get the, oh, an unarmed black man was shot by a white cop, ooh. And it's like, well, when you then look at it, like, you know, there's so many things that always go wrong on both sides. That, like, to me, that's a good thing to eliminate those sort of things. But yeah, I can understand the fear of probable cause. But I think cops will find a lot of other ways to do that. Like, you'll see, like, I don't know if they actually do this, but I remember in one show, like, they come up to the car and they take their gun, they knock the headlight and crack it, and they say, oh, your headlight was out, you know, and they do stuff like that. Like, that's why I pulled you over. Yeah, it's like they can always find some sort of, I guess, excuse, but.
That's when you need a dash cam.
Yeah, dash cam.
I got a dash cam. But the thing is, like, if you're, like, let's say, you know, you're just driving through the town, you get a butthole police officer. You know, very bad.
Did you say butthole police officer?
Well, he can't say the other one.
Yeah, I know. It was just funny.
You know, you get a not so nice police officer who comes and says, hey, we're going to go and arrest you. You know, I'm going to go and cause some problems.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and then he says, oh, this guy has a gun permit, therefore I can presume he's armed and dangerous, and then bam, you get shot, potentially. And I just don't think it should be on there. If you have your gun, they should just ask you, do you have a gun?
Yeah, that's why. Well, that was the exact case as to why I was saying they should have on the license so that they know if you have it or not, and they don't get shot.
Well,
You
no,
you always have your concealed carry permit with you, so like
Yeah, I
it's
know.
just a separate license. I think that's fine because that way, like when you don't have the gun on you, you don't have to show them the concealed carry license, and you don't get worried that you might have a gun.
Okay. So
And
you
if
always
yeah,
have
yeah.
so
Yeah,
the concealed carry license. It's a separate license you always have to have on you.
yeah. If you're deep trouble,
You broke your bleep virginity
that
on
was
the
first
radio.
time I ever did that. Deep trouble.
Deep doo doo. Deep poop poo.
Did you hit the button in time?
Yeah, I jumped
All
over.
All right. But,
Anyway, yeah, wrap
but
this
like,
up.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
And then I also heard cases where people go to Canada and then it somehow shows on their American driver's license that they have concealed carry license. Same thing for Mexico. This causes their. I heard things about this. I don't know how true it is. I know that they're changing requirements for driver's licenses.
Yeah.
But if they have this. If they can show it on your regular driver's license, but stop because they can scan this and it's probably in a database somewhere.
Yeah, it
Who's
could be in the
saying
database.
Oh,
I was gonna
yeah.
say I don't think it's physically on the license. But
Oh,
it could definitely
okay.
be like if you scan it, I could see that.
Okay.
I don't think it. I'm not saying it should be or shouldn't be, but I think that like that's definitely possible. That might be true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it can cause harassment from
Yeah.
from the Canadian Mexican border when you try to go over there. Not that I really go to any of those places anyways. I mean, what
Well,
am I
you don't
gonna
want to
do in
visit
Canada?
Justin in the north and get shot by drug cartels in the south?
Well, yeah. There's no real point for me to go over there. What am I going to do? Drink maple syrup and watch someone else have relations with my girlfriend.
Oh my god.
I don't want to go to Canada.
Yeah, I don't want.
Let's switch topics.
Yeah.
No.
I actually went to Canada once because I was in Michigan. I went with my grandparents, but in Canada, like at least for us, because they saw a family of 4, like it's the most stern-looking people in the world. They do not have a soul or a heart. It looks like because they do not smile, they
Aren't
do not
supposed to be, like,
frown.
the nicest.
No,
Unless
they just look at
sorry,
you.
really?
They're like, these aren't Canadians. These are just border
Oh.
people.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
okay.
talking about when we were
Okay,
crossing.
okay.
Yeah, I didn't give context. I'm being silly again. But when you're crossing, like they pulled we showed them, I think, just my parents' license. I don't even know if they looked at mine. I was a little younger at the time. This was years ago, and they just kind of looked at the license. They looked at the car a bit. They really didn't do much. But I bet for like big trucks and just people alone in a car coming to do a little more checking out. But I think they just looked at our faces was all they did. But yeah, I don't think it's a big problem, so I'm not going to worry about concealed carry stuff on licenses. But the more friction I think you put in terms of gun control, just friction, not actual banning guns, but just friction, maybe in how to get a gun, I think is okay. It's just you can't get too far. I'd rather be annoyed than a maniac getting a gun. It's kind of like TSA when people complain about there's so many things you have to do to get on a plane. I'm like, I don't care if it stops Mohammed Al-Akbar from getting in with a bomb. I'm fine with it.
Racist, Sean.
I know. Yeah, I'm
Islamophobe. Because it's like I'd rather have to go through that than get blown up in a million pieces on a plane. So anyway.
Chances of you getting blown up for a million pieces, it's like 1 in a million.
Yeah, I mean you do have a better chance.
Yeah, but
of
I
your
want to
plane
decrease
just
it.
crashing.
Yeah, well,
especially
if I want to
it's so
decrease
far-
those odds, it's like.
It's so far. You decrease the odds of dying by not driving a car, but you drive a car, don't you?
Yeah, but that's a well, yeah. There's a risk you take during that, but there's an
You
increased
drive a
risk.
bicycle. Do you know how much risk there is for driving a bicycle? Like, I'm not even joking.
No,
Driving a bicycle is one of the most dangerous.
It
even
is.
more
It
dangerous than a
should
car.
be. It should be. People shouldn't be riding bicycles, okay? On roads, if you get hit, I have like zero sympathy because cyclists are annoying. They get
are.
in the middle of the road, they block it, they go like 2 miles per hour. You honk your horn, they don't move their butt over. They just throw you the finger, and then you have to drive around the opposing lane, almost get kamikaze by like a tractor trailer, and you get across, and then it's the car's fault. No, you cyclists are annoying people. Stop doing these things. Like as a cyclist, I hate cyclists. But
Well,
we have to
yeah,
go to the break. But any last few words, Alex, before I go to break?
Yeah, let's ban assault bikes, ban BMX bikes, I think that's common sense bicycle control.
We were DMing this sort of thing in Discord,
That's
Mikey.
funny.
We were like, yeah, common sense bike control. Ban all bicycles with extended chains and extended gear ratios.
Yeah.
This has
You
to
don't need a
stop.
bicycle with more than 10 gears. Using a military style assault
Mine has
bicycle.
21.
Yeah. You have to be
You're gonna
20.
need a-
We're gonna have to
you can
raise the
register
age.
that.
We're gonna have to raise the age to buy a bicycle from no age to 21, just to be safe, because this is common sense. Now we're going to talk about the special election in the 18th district of Pennsylvania. This was the current representative had stepped down or retired or something, whatever. He's gone, and we had a special election just a few months before the big election, and Democrats pushed all their money and time into this to kind of break through and start a blue wave, hopefully. Rick Secombe, there was a Republican, lost to Lamb, the Democrat, by only 627 votes. And I don't think that's kind of right yet, but Lamb is pretty much the winner by a slim, difference. And basically, it's because of, from my analysis, a few things. One, both candidates were basically the same, except Lamb was more energetic, young, and interesting. He was at Lamb, even though he's a Democrat, was a Catholic, a vet, and very pro-gun, not really pro-life, but the message got out enough that people were convinced of that, and he was going after the blue-collar Trump base there, a sort of populist base. And Secombe was doing the same thing with policy, but he's old and boring, and people don't like that. So he lost. And, of course, 1,379 idiots voted for the Libertarian candidate, which spoiled the election and ruined it for the Republican. And so we lost a seat because of that. TLDR, don't vote for third party ever. You are throwing your vote away. That's just my opinion, but what do you guys think of this?
Yeah, I was
Go ahead. You go first, Alex. I don't have too much.
All right, so I was actually within Pittsburgh when this was going on. I did not see a single person getting out the vote for the Republican.
That's
the
bad.
The Allegheny County GOP is just terrible. They have I've never seen any sort of discussion. I have no clue who this guy was before the special election. They need to do a better job with this. They need to go and get out the vote. They need to go and write posters. They need to go and have people saying, "Hey, vote for this." Now, I wasn't able to go and vote in my election because my district's not quite there. I mean, I live in Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's a big city, especially in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So there's multiple districts. So and the other guy too. He wasn't like a super crazy liberal Democrat. I think he was pro-life. I heard he was relatively pro-gun.
Yeah,
So,
that's not, from what I heard, it's not entirely true, but he's not extreme on abortion either way.
Yeah, so I think that he's
He's
not
moderate.
very, he is pretty moderate. The other guy seemed like a cuck. So
Yeah, he wasn't really a cuck because he supported Trump, and he's been pretty vocally pro-Trump, and Trump went to a rally there to support him, which was a fabulous rally, I might add, where he announced his 2020 slogan of "Keep America Great Again." Or, sorry, I keep putting the again out. Keep America Great. Yeah, and so Trump's going to be on his way to win again, but he did that rally, and hopefully Trump did his duty. He went there, he did what he could. I mean, if he visited a second time, the Republican may have won, but it's a special election, people. This is not the main election. It's coming up in a few months where this guy's Lamb's only going to be in there for a few months. I think January is the actual election, so we'll see how that goes. But the consensus I made of this was that it's not a blue wave, but it's not a red wall. Okay, for the national scale, people were taking this and projecting it, saying, "Oh, this is the blue wave that's coming." Democrats going to sweep the midterms. I still don't think that's possible.
Think so.
Yeah, I don't think that's very likely. I think they have a shot now. This kind of energized them a bit, which is what they wanted. And Republicans, I think, at least in quite a few years, like Alex was saying, they're not campaigning or not canvassing and doing the groundwork well enough. Because even though this guy had a lot of money spent toward him, money doesn't mean anything really. It's all about the candidate. Trump spent like a third of what Hillary spent, and he won by a good, healthy margin of electoral votes. So What Republicans need to do is they need better candidates, they need enough money, and they need energy and enthusiasm. Trump can help with that only so much, but you need to support Trump 100%, or else these people aren't going to vote for you. And you got to outshine these Democrats. I think the Republicans will pull it off in the midterms and win. I think they're going to win. They'll probably keep their numbers probably about the same. I used to say that they were going to pick up seats. That I think they're going to lose some, but then pick up others, and it balances out. Ben Shapiro, I think, said that they're going to get the Republicans going to lose the House. I think he's totally wrong on that. But the Senate is a definite Republican keep. The House will be interesting, but I think the Republicans are going to keep it. They just got to play smart.
I think the only worry I have is that all these Republicans who came out and voted Trump, they need, a lot of them normally never vote.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm worried that they're not going to vote in this midterm, and then that will be, if we do lose the House, that'll be why, because we don't have enough coming out to vote. Because I know over the summer I work at a concrete place, and I know there, all of them voted for Trump, but none of them have, really ever voted before.
Wow. Yeah, because Trump knows how to energize people, get them excited, and get them out to vote. These candidates like this guy that were succumbed, they're boring, don't do that.
Yeah.
You got to get people excited for you. Trump can only do so much for all these candidates in the midterms. But I agree, because there's a lot of Democrats that had never voted Republican in their life or never switched much, and they voted for Trump. A lot of Obama voters voted for Trump. When you see stuff like Hillary saying, stuff like, remember she's made that comment a few days ago about Trump supporters. They wanted to see women not get jobs, and they wanted to see black people not get rights.
And then didn't she fall down the stairs?
And then she fell down the steps in India twice. I believe in a God now. When you see stuff like that, you start to believe. Because that is the most out of touch, stupid statement she said since the deplorables comment. It's the elitist arrogance of, I know what's right for you, and you people are, in the Midwest and in the rural areas are just racist bigots. It's so out of touch, so demeaning, and so wrong. I hope they keep giving her platforms, because this is great. This is how we're going to keep winning, and I'm not going to get tired of winning.
I know she won't run in 2020, but I wish she would. Because that would be the best thing to see again.
To see him on a debate stage again.
Yeah, and to see Trump beat her again.
Oh. I wonder if her ego would, I think her ego's thinking about deep down, but I don't think she's ever going to do it. They don't want her.
She won't. They don't want it. They would be stupid if they brought her again.
Yeah.
They're not that stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, the party needs, fresh faces that are... I know people are going to be criticizing me. Why are you giving them advice? But this is for the good of the country, I guess. It's not like
they're listening anyway.
Yeah, they're not listening. They don't listen to real news. They listen to fake news. But, yeah, if they really want to succeed, the Democrats, they need moderates, they need populists, and they need enthusiastic, charismatic candidates. That's what wins you elections, and they need, overall, an outsider. Because these establishment insiders suck, and everybody hates them, and this is the decade of the anti-establishment, fighting back against globalists.
Yeah. Alex, do you want to talk?
Yes, Alex. Do you want to talk?
Yeah. So about that, I kind of see, you can generally see with every election, it's for the first year, it's all good, the one party does really well, then after that, it usually goes into a decline, the other party gets control of the House or the Senate or whatever, and then you start seeing that this comes in waves. This happened, probably for the past 50 years. Maybe it'll change. No one was expecting Trump, so we can always hope for that. But in the grand scheme of things, at least you have Trump in there, and at least you have control of one of the House's worst case, pretty much worst case scenario, unless it's just atomic bad. But yes, not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I think gridlock's generally a good thing, except when it comes to border control. I like when the government doesn't do anything. I think that's the purpose of government.
Well, yeah, that's what's what was I gonna say? Yeah, I would agree that this is not, a big deal losing this, but if we want to get stuff done like infrastructure, if we want to get the wall built, we're going to need to hold the House and the Senate both, because if you lose one, the bill's going to go through the one branch government, get stopped by the other, and never gets to Trump. That's what I'm afraid of, is that Trump's going to get not much done in these next 3 years, And, that's going to hurt his 2020 chances, and that's just going to hurt everything in general. I mean, he's a good deal he's a superb deal maker, a superb negotiator. He could probably pull a lot of stuff through, but he's not going to pull off these big things that we need, like the wall. I mean, he would have to then pivot really hard to the middle, and that's really difficult.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like for Trump, because he didn't, we do need to fix immigration. Other than that, if he gets immigration fixed and then he doesn't do anything else, I'd be perfectly fine with that. I'd hope for that, actually. The infrastructure, it's all right, but the states can deal with it.
Yeah, but they're not. That's the problem.
Well, the free market will show if people can't drive to work because the rates are so bad and people keep dying. People will see that and they'll move out. Companies will move out. Look what happened with North Carolina with the tranny issue.
The tranny issue?
Wait,
they had that thing years ago. I think it was North Carolina, and then they banned
the bathroom thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Then you saw all these people, and the free market affected that. I think the free market will also affect it if they don't have any infrastructure.
I think that's not comparable, unfortunately, because with the tranny thing, that guy was weaponized by the Democrats very well. And which was kind of surprising because it's such a small, insignificant thing. But with infrastructure, I live outside Philly, and we all know the Philadelphia airport sucks, but nothing gets done. We've been saying it for years how crappy it is and nothing gets done. It's like the roads are always crappy by us, but nothing gets done. It's one of those things that you have to have a government force that does something because people unfortunately can't. I wish it would be a free market thing, but
no, it is. The people in Philadelphia, they keep electing the same candidates over and over.
Yeah, it's cyclical.
That's part of the problem.
Cyclical autism, as you'd say.
Absolutely. If we were to elect people that promise X infrastructure, maybe even do it on the local level. Hey, my roads are terrible. I'm going to go and call up experts. Or even better, sue the local government if it hurts your car. I think we can do that.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And then the free market actually will definitely do that. I know in Maryland you can do that, and that's why their roads are better. I don't know about PA, although I heard someone, they had their land damage and they sued the government for $20,000 to fix it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. If we could get a sort of energy behind it, and candidates start running on that. Hey, take note, Republicans, if you're listening and you're running in midterms, run on infrastructure, run on wall, run on stuff that we want because that would energize people.
And gun rights.
Gun rights, gun rights is not a big thing.
Yeah.
Well, what about this? What if this is actually a good thing to help our auto industry over here because more four-wheel drive vehicles will be sold?
Yeah.
What if the roads being bad is actually a good thing?
You're not wrong.
I do want a four-wheel drive vehicle.
Oh, my God. This is going to convince you.
Yeah.
It's the Ancapistan Express.
Yeah.
Dude, whenever somebody brings up ANCAP, they talk about private roads, I immediately think of where my cousins live. They have this, it's a neighborhood, but the roads are actually private, and it's not even a road. It's just gravel. And they've never paid for it. They've never put up the money to pay for a paved road. I'm just so this is what Ancapistan's like.
Well, every time I think of it, I just want to buy all the roads and then put a bunch of tolls on them.
Oh, I hate toll booths.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's the smart
toll booth. That's one thing I don't like about Ancapistan, the toll booth.
Oh yeah.
But then we would see flying cars.
Yes, fly over the toll booth. But then we'd see flying toll booths.
How does that work? I guess if you own the airspace above the land.
Yeah, they're gonna do that, dude. Amazon's already trying to restrict airspace.
You try and take a shortcut through someone's above someone's house and they shoot you down. That's Ancapistan.
Oh man. Make that a meme. Listeners, make that a meme and send it to us at #RealNewsRadio.
Oh, geez. Yeah, speaking of, I heard that Amazon was looking at Pittsburgh to move into.
Yeah, they're looking at a whole bunch of cities, and they've slowly narrowed it down.
Yeah, somewhere in PA, right?
I hope they don't come to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, then you're gonna have the globalists listening to you right there.
State College.
Well, they have a little place there. Have you seen that downtown? There's a little Amazon store.
I saw that. Yeah.
Dude, the housing prices, it just goes. I'd never be able to own a house. It'd be like California.
Yeah, you're gonna see cost of living go up.
Well, State College, the housing prices are already pretty bad over there. Good Lord, they come over there, it's going to be $10,000. It's $2,000 a month to rent a little hovel.
Yeah.
It'd be New York.
Oh, I'm going to live nowhere near a city when I get out of here.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening to me, so I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, see, that's a failure of the school. You know,
I'll
the
say.
schools, before they let you, they should go and before you even start college, they should put you in a program to help you to make sure you know what the heck you're doing.
Yeah.
I agree
Of course-
1,000%.
Well, of course, Penn State won't do it because
No.
the longer you're at Penn State, the more money they get from you.
Yeah, but they could make more money
Yeah.
off of that, like a 5th year of college almost, you know, of you like trying to figure out your stuff together. You know, they might like it, but the problem is like costs of schools are going to be, you know, with technology improving and more things going online, like the cost of schools should be going down. It kind of is. Yeah, but it isn't because they jack the prices up.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. If you go to an online college, yes, but the thing with Penn State, they're never going to have to really worry about that.
No.
There's a line from like here to Timbuktu of people wanting to get into Penn State.
Yeah,
From
because of
all
the
over the
name.
world.
It's all because of the name.
Unless we take away federal funding from them until they get down to a reasonable level
Yeah.
of charge,
I'd
then
back
Penn
that.
State will keep increasing. Like that's why if you're a state institution, you either go A, full private, and that'd be fine. They can do what they want as a private school, or B, they they'll have to charge a certain amount because it's a public school, and then that's why we have so many students from out of the country because they can afford it. It's cheaper to go to school, and like I know some Chinese folks, and the thing is, it's very difficult to get into a state school in China, or I don't know what they call the province, like college over there.
Yeah.
But over here, if their parents have some money, and they can go to pretty much most schools, they go to like a great deal of any decent school like Penn State. Like if you're an in-state resident at Penn State, from what I heard, it's really difficult to get into here.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
was
at least
hard
the main
about.
campus.
Well, that's why I had to work extra hard because it is hard to get in. There's a lot of people that were applying to Penn State just in-state, and they prioritize in-state
They do,
and
yeah.
make it more competitive.
Yeah, like if you come from out of state, I heard it's really easy if you're paying like
You're paying
20
more.
grand
Paying a
semester.
lot of
Yeah, you're
money.
paying a lot more. It's
And
like
see, that's not fair. That shouldn't be how it is.
yeah, why I know why they do, but it's like just because you don't live, like let's say you're like on the border of PA, you're inside PA, you move 1 mile over, you're already paying like crap ton more.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That makes I understand why they do that, but they shouldn't. That's why we have so many out of state and out of country residents or students at Penn State.
Yeah.
Because
I think
the school
the-
makes bank.
The out of country should be charged a lot more, and then us in-staters, the out of country should be charged a lot more, and us in-staters and out of staters should get charged a lot less. I
Yeah.
think that would be
Well,
much more
see-
fair because the people who are coming from out of the country, they're usually rich.
Yeah. You look at the people from China and
they
the purple
all have
or from
leased cars that are like Lamborghinis and stuff.
They're
so-
rich
Well,
daddies.
you know what's going to happen if we do that, right? We're going to have Penn State will be a Chinese university in America, or like
Well, no, because all Penn State residents would be going there instead of going to Al. Because what some people do is, like when I was looking for this, like Michigan State, if I had to go to Michigan State, it's only like a little, it's like I think 10 grand more than if I went to like Penn State in-state for like, a year. So it's like the out-of-state costs are actually less for a lot of other schools, but Penn State is, first of all, Penn State's one of the most, I think it's the most expensive state, public, state school in the country. And then the out-of-state cost is even more. And, people that come here, they're out-of-state, tend to be from like New England and a whole bunch of areas that are rich. But any last few comments and we got to move on.
But no, if we increase the cost of Penn State significantly, then they will only want to get out-of-state residents, and we will see very few in-state, unless they set a percentage like, hey, you can only have 10% from out of the country, you can only have like 20% from out of state, then the rest has to be from in-state. I think that's probably the solution.
Yeah, that could be a good. I think that could be a good idea. Make a little quotas, not based on race or gender, but actually based on your residency, because that's something that actually benefits people and works out. But we got to move on to two last little subjects. I'm gonna mention this first one quickly, and we'll go through quickly. Then we're gonna talk about another one for a more extended period of time. But Trump visited the wall prototypes over the week. And he met Border Patrol agents, talked to the press a bit. It was actually pretty cool. Great visuals, great persuasion overall of him being there inspecting them like a builder that he is. I loved it. And he wants one that's see-through. That's the one thing he emphasized. And
That's cool. I didn't hear that.
oh, yeah. Well, what I was going to do, but I didn't really set it up, but I was going to have us rate each wall design. That was what Milo was doing on his show. Because some of them are like really intimidating looking, but some of them are... I'll actually pull a picture up, but... what do you guys think just in general right now?
Well, my problem was see-through. I'm sorry. You can go, Mikey.
I was actually just gonna say that since I don't have much to say, I won't take up the time because I know we're on a crunch.
All right, so for see-through, I don't know about that because if it's see-through, it's gonna be glass or something. Or
No,
some hard.
that's not how. Yeah, I'll explain that.
Could be plastic.
Well, what they're doing, I pull up. I'll turn to Mikey, but I don't know if you'll see it, Alex. But there's a.
Just brought it up too.
Yeah, there's some prototypes of the wall. The first one we have here up on the board is a tannish colored wall with a tube at the top, but it's all concrete. That one's okay, but you can't see through it. And the tubes at the top are so people can't climb around them and put ropes around and hook at the top easily. Makes it a lot more difficult, and it's smart. It's very smart and very simple. Second wall design here, I'm gonna give the first wall design like a 6. The second one here is just all tan, and it's got like a little like indent in it, and then it goes up to a thinner portion. No see-through, no nothing. It's just a tan piece of concrete and nothing at the top. That's the one disappointing thing. So that one's, I'm gonna give that a 4. Third wall design here we have it's really boring looking. Like it's just got nothing on it. It's just like it's just a slab.
Yeah.
So that one's no good. I'm gonna give it like a 2. And then the third. Oh, what was this fourth one? Oh, that's intimidating as heck looking because it's all like gray concrete and it's got like these barbed wires at the top, which I only don't like that because it's a lot to maintain. They say like that's a maintenance problem, and versus the tubes, and people are gonna get stuck in there, and it's gonna cause humanitarian problems and blah blah blah. The fifth one we have here is blue. It's got like steel at the top. This is where the see-through is gonna come in, Alex. But this one's got steel that you cannot see through, and then cement at the bottom. I'd give that like a 7 because it's got somewhat nice aesthetics. This is where we get through the see-through. It has cement at the top on this other one, and then it has these steel sort of like
it's like posts.
Yeah, they're like posts. Like they're flat and they're tilted, so you can't like walk through them, but you can see through them. So that one's not bad. It's like a 7.
I really like them for the look. I like the next one. You can describe them.
Yeah, the next one. This is the one Trump and Milo both liked, and it's my favorite too. Even though it does look a little funny. It's a little taller with the see-through part, but then at the top it's got cement and then the tube at the top. That's like the best of all worlds. I think Trump might make some personal sort of refinements to it, but that's a good one too. And then the last one, I really can't tell what it's about.
The second one with a tube on top almost.
Yeah, it looks like a bunch of cement slabs with a tube on top. But yeah, that seventh one it was like the first picture come up on Google. That's the best thing so far.
I like that
fabulous.
a lot. The only thing is though, because I used to be an engineer, I think it's not as structurally secure. No, in a way like you could put a satchel charge. You could put some kind of explosive in between two of the posts, and it would do a lot more damage than putting an explosive against a concrete wall that's solid.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, I can't tell exactly what they are, but if they're steel, you can even get saws that'll just cut through it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could do that with any kind of wall, but I think it would just be easier to break the wall than it would be for
I think
solid.
I wanted.
But I like that it's see-through. It looks neat.
Yeah, well, the idea of the see-through, this is what the Border Patrol agent said there, is that if they can see what these illegals are doing, Pablo and his amigos are doing, he will be able to stop them and prevent them from doing stuff. Because they'll usually, in these parts where they can't see through, they'll be doing all kinds of crap, at the wall trying to get through, and they don't see it.
Yeah, that's true. They'll be able to see someone if they're at that part of the wall at that time.
Well, there's going to be cameras and sensors, all kinds of high-tech crap.
Yeah.
I'm going to let Alex give a comment, then we're going to move on to the last topic. I'm sorry I'm rushing this, but I had to mention this.
Now, see, what if we had a wall that had some sort of picture giant Lego pieces been made out of plastic. They're cut from stone or something, and put it over there. And at the top there'd be a barbed wire situation, so if they try to go and scale it, it wouldn't work. And there will be a little thin bit of metal that goes between the little Lego brick sort of things. And if a certain portion is damaged, they'll cut the little piece.
Oh, so it's kind of like putting rebar almost, but a valve razor wire.
Yeah, no. In the middle, you'd have this little wire in there, and if it gets snapped, they'll tell them exactly where it got cut, so that the Border Patrol can zoom over there.
Yeah, that's kind of what they do now, but they do like with the sensors, like I was saying. Like if there's some like movement, they detect it and they drive over there. ICE comes over and squads out on them.
Huh. Well, yeah, that'd be interesting. But anyways, what's the final thing?
Yeah, final topic I want to talk about with our few main minutes is the school walkouts that happened on Wednesday, I believe. All cross-country students were walking out, pushing for gun control, all kinds of crap like that. One incident of a pro-gun student, how dare he speak up. He had a sign that said, "Guns don't kill people, people kill people." And the principal came up, chased him out, and was yelling at him. And then they threatened to throw him in a cop car.
Yeah, they actually chased him off property.
Yeah, they literally chased him. Like, when I say that, it's non-exaggeration. They literally chased this kid for holding that sign. That's not even that controversial or edgy or anything. It's very true, simple statement. I mean, you could argue he's not even pushing for gun control in that statement. You could even argue that. Or, I mean, not gun control. Pro-gun. Yeah, you could argue that. But the problem I have with all this is we're listening to the demographic that, let's be honest, isn't the brightest. These are the people that are eating Tide Pods and doing drugs in the bathroom. And I think adults know they did stupid stuff when they were young, and they've, I would hope, matured. So why are we listening to them about gun control when most of these kids haven't been in a school shooting? And if they have, should we really be basing our policy off of that? Because they're very emotional. And when you're emotional, you're irrational.
Well, the thing with school shootings, it's like less than a 1 in a million chance you'll just exaggerate this. And I think that's due to the feminized culture that we live in. That's, it's completely not based on logic. This is all just my feels over reals. And I think that's the problem with society.
Yeah, I agree. I think we overinflate the damage these. Yeah, we're hearing noises in here. The damage of these sort of things. I must have ghosts here, or the Goldless are spying on us. But the thing is, it's like I want to stop these things, and I think there are things we can do. But when you see like some of the stuff David Hogg and this girl that he's with say, they say some really stupid stuff. Like he was in a phone call at the White House and he just hung up and said, the president shouldn't be, talking to us. He should be listening to us or something. He said, I forget what he said, but he was really arrogant. And it's like if you want to get stuff done, you got to talk to the guy at the top, the guy that's writing that's executing the laws, the president. I mean, you don't get stuff done by saying F you and walking away like that. I don't know, it's not productive, and it just makes me sad.
Yeah, he's a complete political hack. I feel bad for him that he was in the shooting, but, whatever respect I had for him got lost when he's bragging about hanging up on the president of the United States.
Yeah.
I have a tough time having respect for someone who goes so far of his way to go and turn his tragedy into politics, and I just can't respect that man or that boy.
Is this David Hogg?
Yeah, David Hogg.
Yeah,
the child actor.
He's getting
He's not an actor.
He's getting rejected from like every college he's applying to.
Yeah, but I hear CNN's hiring.
Yeah,
that's what Kyle.
The one kid who like is actually respectable.
The one kid that's respectable, that happens to be pro-gun, but is talking to Trump and the government and trying to get stuff done, is getting no media attention. CNN never invites him on because they're pushing a narrative. It's no secret. And, he's getting shoved to the sideline. But he's a very respectful kid. I don't know if he's on... There's a new 60 Minutes episode coming out on Sunday I'm going to watch where they have the shooting victims on. I don't know if they're going to have Kyle on. I hope they do. But I'm not aware that they invited him for an interview. But they had the girl on. Yeah, I don't think so. But they had the girl on, the shaven head girl. And she said she already said something stupid. She said that the government is spending $400 million on arming teachers. Incredibly wrong statistic.
That's just wrong. Yeah.
It was like 76, I think. She's and they hadn't even really done it quite yet. I mean, stuff like that just bothers me. When they're spouting misinformation, they have this platform and they're being a professional victim.
Well, here's the thing. I think you could do it practically for free. Okay, say to the teacher, hey, if you have your own license to carry a firearm, take this class, pay for it yourself, and you'll be allowed to bring your gun to school. Boom. You have so many people sign up for that, and it won't cost a dime.
Yeah. Mikey, did you have a story to tell us before we end?
So my high school decided to participate in the walkout, and The staff, like, they were allowing it, so they made it so like you would just walk to the gym instead, and it was gonna, I don't know, maybe they made it educational. I don't know exactly what happened, but everyone arrived in the gym and there was music playing, and the student, it was a girl, that's all I know, who was in charge of playing the music, started playing Pumped Up Kicks.
Oh my god,
It was crazy.
that's terrible.
You know that.
You should show the audience what that is when we sign up.
Alex, I was one step ahead of you. I'm going to show the audience, as we close right now, what that song is about and what it is, so you can get an understanding. Yeah, draw your own conclusions, and it gives context to the story. We're educating our audience here.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with more Rio News.